Well, I think there was Dave Jaffe, the original director on God of War 1, set him and the rest of the team set up a fantastic character and world, and there were always initial intentions on how this is going to grow and how things are going to move and how the story is going to be told. And I think that that's just kind of continued and evolved, and it's always been intended to be this trilogy and the story that we wanted to tell. And I think the team is constantly scrutinizing everything that's going on, and how everything's tied together, and why characters are doing things, and including the PSP game, and where the team's heavily involved in all of that stuff.
Well, I mean, I think that as far as removing things from the game, I'm of the mind that great games are often made by not what you add to them at certain points, but what you take out of them. And I think there were certain things we felt we needed to remove in order to maintain the overall clarity of vision that we have for the stuff that did make it into the game. And I think that's just the way that development tends to work for games at times. And I think that the director was very passionate. Stig, he was very passionate about a certain direction for the story at the end and making key decisions about that. And we did our best to accommodate those adjustments, and that involved removing some things so we could get some things in. And I think that at the end of the day, I think we're very proud of the way that it turned out and what we got in. And I think that those things that were removed they needed to come out, and those things that were added, they were added for a reason. So I think it's definitely an organic process, is that as you're working through a game, there's always going to be a give and take, and things that you can't get everything in, and certainly sometimes you're going to add things in as well. So it's always fun. That's a great question. I mean, at the core of the Titan is essentially we have I'm not going to get too technical, but we have a collision system that can change depending on how animators animate the character. So let's say his arm has collision on it. You can stand on his arm. The animator animates the arm, and now Kratos can climb on the wall on the arm, and then he changes it back, and Kratos goes into a stance. And it's this kind of setup that really makes it intriguing, because we have to set it up in a way that I have to work with an animator, he has to animate the level, then we have to get the character artist to build the character, and we're constantly working as an entire team on this character at one time, which is pretty rare, because most of the time we work on it in sections and then we hand it off to somebody else, and then they work on it, and then it kind of gets passed around until it's finished. But the Titan characters, everyone kind of has to work on it together, so it's been a very challenging process because of that. And my job was very tricky, because I had to focus on kind of working as the intermediary between all people. So I had to kind of be the center point for all the work coming in and getting that in. And it was very overwhelming at times. And I think that we knew that it was going to be something that was important to the game. So I think at the end of the day, everyone's hard work really paid off. A lot of people were involved in making the Titans work the way they did.